Hello team and welcome back to another Line War cast. This is your map today in a 1v1 between Someone Said That My Nickname Sucks in blue and WelcomeTo in red. This is the upper bracket semi-final. So the loser of this game will be knocked down to the lower bracket. They will play in the final game of the lower bracket and have an opportunity again to play in the final, the grand final of the tournament. It's a double elimination bracket. So what it means is that these two players could play in the grand final again. I have no idea who wins this game. This is game 3 between these two. So the series is tied 1-1. It's a best of 3 series. And WelcomeTo's in the bottom right with this cross pick immediately. Taking this island and then selecting this water territory as part of the picking phase, and then other territories on this bottom right island, and the nickname to the north on the biggest landmass, really, probably the most consequential landmass on this map. All the maps from predetermined seeds. So all the players know the maps that they needed to prepare for and check out before these games. Which I do like, because I feel like there's a little bit more strategy that can be involved if players have time to prepare. I'm not sure if either one of these players have a build in mind, or if the picking phase went the way they expected it to. But either way, 2 docks immediately from Tomahawk. Sorry, yes. From WelcomeTo. So many different, very good players that have played in this tournament. I get the names messed up occasionally. But it's 2 docks immediately for WelcomeTo with transport boats out of both of them. So right away, red is going to get to this top right island. And then this other transport boat out of the second dock is going to go down to the south here. And then what I assume will happen is that some of these red infantry are going to go across to the main landmass, most likely. A mining site, a farm, a town, and a port on the way for WelcomeTo, as well as an airport. And in the same way that Nickname can't see any of WelcomeTo's buildings or anything, WelcomeTo's not going to be able to see where blue has started. Nickname's going for the patented commando drop opener. Transport plane is taken off now, so it's got 2 commandos in it. These 2 barracks will continue pumping commandos, and I would expect from some of the plays that we've seen Nickname do, it might be that blue will just continue building transport planes here and commandos and constantly going for a lot of big drops. Or after this second transport plane, maybe a switch into strikers, helicopters. Usually we'll either see the player go to 2 transport planes and then use those all game to move the commandos around, or continue to build more transport planes. Submarine pen for Nickname with the first sub now created. And then this city, or rather this town. And there are 2 trade routes on this main landmass. From this town down to the bottom here, and then from this town up to the top at the city location. Nickname also has a mining site and a second town. And top down, this is what it looks like. Nickname dropped to the far left onto this refinery, which makes a lot of sense because Nickname does not have a refinery on the starting island. So it'll be important for blue to secure that refinery to be able to keep these transport planes flying, the submarines flying, and interceptors is the follow-up. Nickname might use this interceptor as a scout, or just as like a little safety net in case red shows up with a bunch of planes. This is blue's vision, so Nickname can see that there are some infantry or commandos or something that is capping that bottom right territory. And WelcomeTo's vision. Red can now see that blue is in fact here. It's probably expected that blue's here from the picking phase. WelcomeTo probably had an idea. I really like this play from these missile boats that are showing up. Unless these blue submarines can destroy these red boats, it'd be huge if red can just park out the missile boats around here, because anytime the planes come back to land on the airport, they're going to have to take some shots and some missiles from those red boats. But Nickname's now got commandos on both of these islands on the left-hand side. And Welcome To's got helicopters supporting these infantry that are digging in. It'll be very important, I think, in this game for Red to be able to establish some sort of foothold on this main island. Because of how central this blue occupied island is, Nickname would be able to like cut off Welcome To from getting to a lot of the left-hand side of the map. Certainly in the top left. If Nickname controls this successfully, it's actually a second interceptor for Nickname. And I didn't watch game 1 or 2 from these two players, so maybe this interceptor play from Blue is just like a hard read on Red building helicopters or something. I have no idea. Helicopters, very strong unit. Welcome To is probably going to be able to get a lot of micro potential out of them. It makes it a little bit more difficult that they have to hop over islands, but it's one of the strengths of helicopters that they can do this. One of the problems with helicopters is that they can only land on an allied territory. And because Red doesn't control this territory anymore, these helicopters can't actually land over here. They also don't really have all that good detection, so I don't think Welcome To knows that there's submarines out at the moment. Nice little play from Red to get behind this blue entrenchment line rather. But, I mean, Blue's gonna be able to knock Red off this island pretty quickly. The Interceptor's doing a great job. And a third dock from Welcome To now, who has some cruisers on the way. The submarine pen for Blue has a stealth property. So these 3 red boats won't see it immediately. And Welcome To is just going to check that that city doesn't exist, or rather there's not a town on it. Nickname's getting to the top right. But Welcome To already has a barracks in the top right, so Red should be able to hold that. And now the Nickname's gone up to 3 submarine pens. Which I feel like it's the most amount of submarines that we've seen in a game, or rather that I've seen, really. Why is this thing like keeps falling forever? What's going on? Okay. A part of a plane just ragdolled itself forever. And it's still all just commandos out of these barracks, but Nickname's now going for all interceptors, so two transport planes is enough for Blue. Huge drop. This is going to destroy the airport. No question at all. Interceptors have great detection. They're great scouting units. So when the blue interceptor showed up earlier, it immediately spots this dock and this airport for Welcome To. Submarines now show themselves. If I was in Welcome To's situation right now, I would be panicking when you hear the sound of those torpedoes hitting the dock. This is Welcome To's vision, so the subs are close enough to these 2 buildings and some of these units for Red that they are detected. You can see them kind of dropping in and out of detection as units go down. And a good thing for Welcome To is that because these are helicopters, it's not like a bunch of planes for Red are going to explode if this airport goes down. It certainly will. I believe that Nickname will just drop on this again. And with only 1 infantry and 1 helicopter for Red to defend this, the interceptors themselves might even be able to destroy this airport. Even though they have horrible ground damage. So this is a pretty good start from Nickname, I think. If we go to the Eco, 679 for Red, 694 for Blue. Welcome To does destroy that 1 submarine pen. Then we'll have no idea about the other 2 submarine pens on the left side of that island. But Blue running into a little bit of energy problems. Nice pickup from Welcome To. Maybe one of the planes will go down. I think this transport plane will potentially an interceptor, just because Welcome To's done such a good job to haste move these boats to keep up with the planes. The machine gun noise from the missile boats, that's actually what does the majority of the DPS. It's not the missiles themselves. It's actually the machine gun. Nickname's got the refinery set up, has a barracks on the left-hand side. Welcome To's got 2 barracks on the bottom left. And maybe with this last rocket, yeah, the transport plane goes down. A Nickname will probably, yes, build another transport plane to replenish this. Because there's 3 barracks that have all been making commandos, it's kind of a waste if Blue just lets them sit here. So it makes a lot of sense that Blue's rebuilding transport planes, because then Nickname can start dropping on this little island, reinforcing this bottom left island, because this could be important. And top down, these are the territories. In the top right, Nickname's got these 2 commandos. Great response time from WelcomeTo with this 1 infantry to back up. There's no planes, of course, that WelcomeTo can use to get over to the top right to help defend against those 2 commandos, but there are 4 infantry that were dropped off. So hopefully for Red, that 1 barracks in the top right doesn't go down. 4 interceptors and a submarine against a missile boat and a cruiser. The interceptors won't be very effective at destroying the cruiser, but this submarine will be. This is WelcomeTo's vision. So because it's only 1 cruiser, that submarine is still stealth. And Nickname follows up with 2 docks on the left-hand side of the island. And is about to lose all the capped territories in the bottom left. There's a trade route over here. There's actually 2. If WelcomeTo can take both of them. And this refinery is very close to the water, so is this one. I think that a cruiser, if it showed up here, maybe could hit this refinery if Nickname gets a cruiser. We're going to see a big naval fight at some point in this game, I believe. Because both players are going to have enough time to actually build up a pretty decent navy. Instead of sometimes in these Navy games you see like very early on in the game there's a decisive battle and then the game is essentially over. I don't think that's going to happen in this one. Both players are going to be able to build up a sizable number of boats and have a more of an opportunity to decide when they want to take an engagement. This is WelcomeTo's vision, so you can see that 5 infantry and a barracks this close isn't actually enough to spot the commandos. They're just chilling here. Now, yeah, as the infantry gets a little bit closer, they'll be able to see it. I'm not sure that WelcomeTo is going to be able to see that, though. I mean, there's a lot going on the map already. And those commandos were only shining, or like shown for a brief second. So this is going to be a commando drop from WelcomeTo with these 2 barracks. I like this switch up. There's enough red infantry on this island that they're going to be able to cap all these territories pretty quickly. And now the more important thing for WelcomeTo is to get to this island, and then also we see the plan is that WelcomeTo is going to drop commandos right on this refinery. WelcomeTo doesn't see that this refinery is here, but this is just game sense. This is pro gamer game sense from Red to just assume that because there were commando drops from Nickname probably somewhere around here, the airport wasn't spotted. WelcomeTo is just going to assume that Nickname went over there to get that refinery. And it would make a lot of sense. There's nowhere else on the map that Nickname would have access to a refinery. Because WelcomeTo knows it's not here. Certainly not here. It's a good setup for this game. 873 income for Red, 776 income for Blue. So WelcomeTo with a little bit of an advantage. I'd still say it's a pretty even setup at this point, especially because Nickname does control the center of the map. This is an important spot. And WelcomeTo's vision can see these 3 submarines because with the destroyer here, this boat in the front for Red, it has the detection capabilities. It's very good against submarines. You can see that it's sending out those depth charges, shooting them high up in the air. And then with the support of 2 cruisers, the submarines are going to go down, especially since they're out of energy for Nickname. And great play. Great play from Red. It's still cruisers predominantly out of these docks. I suppose this is a destroyer now on the way. I guess in the north it's actually now predominantly destroyers that Red is creating. And interceptors for WelcomeTo, who's rebuilt this airport very close to where it was to begin with. Nickname's landed 2 commandos in the south. These commandos will try to buy some time. Because there's a barracks already here, very unlikely that Nickname's going to be able to set up any producers. And WelcomeTo's starting to work on this town. Because long term, the goal is likely to get up this trade route. It wouldn't even be totally out of the realm of possibility for Red to build a dock somewhere on the left-hand side at some point in the game. Probably not right now. But as the game goes longer, this is a very important landing from Nickname, who now has 4 transport planes and constantly sending out drops with commandos. And on the far left, we can see that WelcomeTo is about to land on this refinery. Nickname's kind of in position with 4 infantry, which should be enough to stop the commandos from sniping that refinery. These blue commandos are target commanded on the 2 barracks and the airport, so they're not going to stop really to fight the red commandos. They're only going to shoot at them if they're directly in their way of their targets. And now you can see that WelcomeTo's racing back down, because if WelcomeTo loses these 2 barracks in this airport, that's actually a pretty big deal. And we'll slow the momentum that WelcomeTo has in expanding to the left-hand side of the map. It's still 3 transport boats, with a 4th one now showing up to keep moving all of these 5 barracks' units across to this bottom left island. And this is certainly the strength of submarines, is because when there's just cruisers off by themselves a little bit without destroyers or without interceptor coverage, the submarines get a long time with that. They just get to shoot off torpedoes without being spotted at all. In general, this is a very good defense from WelcomeTo. If they don't lose any buildings, I think even just losing one of the barracks would have been fine. And a factory for Red, which should beef up the defense. There could be SAMs that are coming out of this factory. It could even be artillery. I suspect that it won't be artillery. I think it'll be SAMs, but even a few entrenched artillery pieces might help from, you know, these landings from continuing to happen. Because Nickname now has control of this little strait on the map, and it just lets all these transport boats continuously reinforce. Nice try from WelcomeTo. Doesn't quite get that refinery, and now Nickname's digging in a cool little circle around the building. And in the top right, yeah, WelcomeTo's able to secure this. But the barracks did go down. At some point, Nickname somehow Nickname always finds a way to have 2 commandos get the most value. There's still 1 commando on the far right. And it would have been part of the team that sniped that barracks. Eco-wise, 1038 for Red, 906 for Blue, who continues to use these interceptors very effectively. We'll also get this 2nd helicopter as well. And it is SAMs out of this factory. WelcomeTo's also building a barracks further back in an attempt to make sure they don't lose this bottom left island. If WelcomeTo loses the foothold here, the game is not certainly over by any stretch. It's still a game of line where you can come back by making some big plays, but you can just see that slowly it would just seem that Red would get boxed into the bottom right of the map and the right side of the map, and the Nickname just builds all the eco everywhere else. This is a lot of destroyers, 3 of them with the missile boat. But in a pound for pound fight, I think that Blue is going to win this fight. And then it's, I mean, essentially up to Nickname if there's a potential for Blue to push towards this dock. I don't think that Nickname can see it. No, Nickname can't. But a lot going on. I don't even understand. What killed this? How did this thing just... Oh, you know what it was? Yeah, the airport must have died, yeah. So when the airport is destroyed, if the transport jet is going to go land there and there's no other place for it to land, it just explodes in the air. Which, you know, is very realistic. You can imagine that's the case, just in general. And there's an airstrip now, so that this Blue airport can continue to build planes. Once it gets 5 planes, it will stop producing, because there's no more room. And Nickname's starting to work on this port in the top left, which is pretty safe. We did see that those commandos destroyed this town for WelcomeTo. This is a huge pain for red with how many of these blue units have been able to get across, and there's even more on the way. 971 income for blue and 1088 for red. And this is really the only fight that kind of matters. I think the fate of the game depends on who wins this bottom left island, as it stands right now. WelcomeTo will need to make sure to keep these docks alive. And over time, WelcomeTo now has the dock advantage, right? So it's 6 docks for red and 2 docks for blue. And then I guess that with 2 submarine pens, though, that kind of changes it. Changes the math on things. Good attempt from this transport plane to get all the way to the back. And we'll land here. What you'd love to see in this game is Nickname to land here and then build a rocket somehow. If I had a nickel for every time that a player built a rocket on a little one territory kind of island close to my base and hit me with it, it's like at least 3 nickels in how long I've been playing. 1098 income for red, 1061 for blue. So Nickname's catching up. No longer at like an 100+ deficit on the income. But blue's still having like a little bit of energy problems. WelcomeTo will also start running into energy problems with the amount of boats that red has, so we'll likely see another refinery be built for WelcomeTo at some point. And the only real place that WelcomeTo can build it is in this location, or off to the right in this location. Transport plane is definitely gonna go down, flying over all those boats. But this is a very substantial number of blue infantry that's getting across. You can see already that WelcomeTo's decided to just give up the north of this island and building a defensive line in the mountains with some infantry. And entrenchments get that bonus, that defense bonus when they're built in mountains. So it would be a little bit difficult for Nickname to just push blindly through this mountain range. Especially once a few like artillery pieces get dug in. I assume at some point these artillery pieces will be part of this entrenchment line. This is WelcomeTo's vision, so the subs are certainly spotted with this many boats around. It's a cumulative effect on revealing enemy stealth units. The more units you have around them, more it's easier to see the stealth units. That goes for commandos and submarines. And stealth buildings, you know, buildings that you put in mountains or forests, they get a little bit of a stealth bonus. Pretty big naval fight. And WelcomeTo is going to win this fight. We'll likely see that the Navy then pushes up towards the north to stop this landing. And we might see the first town snipe with interceptors only from Nickname. 5 strikers are enough to destroy a town in one pass. I don't know what the number of interceptors that are needed to do that. Certainly they're not going to destroy it in one pass, but if they're allowed to just fly over this town for long enough, even though that machine gun on the interceptor isn't very good, it might be enough to destroy this. Okay, so that's pretty good that WelcomeTo doesn't lose that immediately, but there's going to be a commando drop now. Going right towards the refinery on the far right. More commandos got dropped down here. These 3 commandos might actually destroy that red barracks. And this is one of the moments that red has been waiting for to get these transport boats up. So that WelcomeTo can start moving some of this infantry across, because right now it's really not doing all that much. Nickname is the first one on this bottom left island, so we'll be able to deny this trade route if WelcomeTo wanted to set that up very quickly. And now you can see Nickname doing a great job to move these infantry around this defensive line and get in behind it by doing another landing. WelcomeTo sees this. But there might be an opportunity, and what WelcomeTo might be thinking is that with this many boats, if WelcomeTo can just win the Navy fight and then push up the coast and destroy whatever is creating all the blue boats, that'd be a big moment, because Red just has like fully guaranteed Navy advantage at that point. I wonder where did these two commandos go? I thought the Nickname was landing them there. I don't know how these two players are doing all these different things at once. This is a very, you know, it's very fun watching the line war, but there's a lot going on this map. Multiple fights, drops all over the place. We haven't even been paying attention to the top right, where Nickname's trying to get a little bit of a foothold, and then we'll see Blue build a bunch of producers up there. WelcomeTo wants to go across to the far left island at this point, but Red is losing this naval engagement. Even though there is a big cruiser here, there's just enough blue destroyers to stop that. And Nickname getting the town in the top left, and also starting to build some power plants. So you can tell that Blue's a little bit desperate on the energy right now. Power plants are 1/3 as efficient as a refinery when it comes down to energy production. And this is a big fat hold for WelcomeTo. Certainly Red lost this northern part of the island, but that's okay, because now WelcomeTo is going to be able to just push up and reclaim all of this. And off of this many docks, Red should be able to mount enough of a naval force that Nickname can't just show up and destroy all of these docks without taking some losses. And it continues to be interceptors from Nickname out of this airport. I like this landing from WelcomeTo, splitting between moving to the left-hand side of the map and then also trying to push towards Nickname's main base. And a third submarine pen for Nickname, who has the refinery in the top left. Interceptors are the coolest unit in the game, but again, their strength is going to be in anti-air. If they're trying to attack boats, they can do it, but they're not super effective at it. And now you can see that Nickname is really trying to get some destroyers in between all the paths of where the transport boats are going. Splitting off just a few of them. The small dot will take 3 units, and that's what we saw. That transport boat actually destroyed a submarine. Love to see it. Hero transport boat, and eco-wise 1048 for WelcomeTo. And 1393 now for Nickname, who's just launched ahead and making 473 a minute. And at this rate, Nickname might not even have to build a producer on the top right with how many commandos there are, and there are more on the way with this transport command to land commandos up there. Nice little run by from WelcomeTo to destroy that town. I believe it would go down. And yeah, this refinery is very close to WelcomeTo's base. It would be spotted immediately. And Red's sending some helicopters over to try to destroy it. But in a relatively Navy-heavy game, it just shows how important energy is. And how energy-hungry boats are in general. And top down, a lot more blue than red. Oh, there's a commander right here. There's 2 commanders right here. I didn't even see them. This is a blue controlled territory. Yeah, and WelcomeTo might not see that. So that's prime rocket territory for Nickname. There's no way that Blue's going to build a rocket there right now. It's not really the phase of the game, or, you know, Blue's not really in a position to just spend 500 money on building a launch pad. And WelcomeTo is building another barracks in the top right. I like this personally. I think that's pretty smart. Top right is very important. There's a decent amount of territory on it. And right now, WelcomeTo controls the top right when it comes down to the water. And like, what is going on? So there's 4 transport boats and 2 submarines for Nickname going for a run by. WelcomeTo tried to land on Nickname's island. It'll be very difficult to actually get a foothold there because of just how many barracks there are and just all the interceptors that are shutting down these helicopters. In order to successfully land here, Red would either need to use a rocket, probably wouldn't be all that cost efficient, or just have a bunch of boats up against the shore, like missile boats and cruisers that would be able to fend off the land army and the interceptors, so Red could get a producer up. And now a very fierce fight on the left-hand side. WelcomeTo's got enough units to do this, and the submarine pen is still stealthed. This transport boat also won't see it. It'll be picked up by these 2 submarines. And what else is going on? So it is a barracks and a transport boat. I laugh because this just feels like the most classic Nickname play there is. And in the part of the map that you wouldn't really notice, there's a barracks and a boat, and a dock rather. And we'll see how many infantry and commandos and transport boats Nickname waits to build until ultimately trying to land. My guess will be here. This would be a really good spot, I think. Here comes another landing from Nickname on the bottom left. It's just 3 transport boats this time, but it's such a small distance between these 2 landmasses that there are going to be a lot of infantry here for Blue very quickly. And we continue to see these interceptors used against ground forces. Still more Blue interceptors on the way. It's entirely destroyers being created for Nickname. And eco-wise, 998 for WelcomeTo. 1525 now for Nickname, who has all of this economy, these 3 farms in this town on the far left. Nickname has a dock in the top right. And this is a missile boat that Nickname's building. Naval advantage goes to Blue at the moment. It's really only 3 cruisers for WelcomeTo that are in position to defend against all these destroyers and submarines. There's 2 other missile boats that are on the way, but missile boats lose in a fight against destroyers, so in general these boats I don't think are super important for this fight. They'll do decent against the interceptors, which Nickname seemingly has used against boats for most of this game. And these 2 submarines for Nickname are doing such a good job. The submarine pen is destroyed by WelcomeTo by the infantry. That's a nice play. That's a nice pickup. But this is super not good what's going on the left-hand side of the map. Or the left, you know, part of the screen here with all this Blue infantry and commandos. And then the Navy fight isn't going that well as either. WelcomeTo is going to start trying to land on Nickname's base again, or this Nickname's island. What a game. It is too much action. 1495 income for Nickname, who's slowly running out of energy. 988 for WelcomeTo. And top down. Nickname actually has a lot of the top right. So WelcomeTo is building up a force of infantry. At some point he's going to start pushing to reclaim all of that territory. There are now 3 commandos on that bottom right island for Nickname. But I believe that this is the big deal, is if Nickname just clears out this island, then the game will... It'll be the beginning of the end. It might already be the beginning of the end. I'm personally a huge fan that both players are going for interceptors here. They are the coolest unit in Line War. Love to see these dogfights. And now WelcomeTo sees this airstrip and is going to try to target command this with all the infantry. It'll be close, but WelcomeTo might actually be able to destroy this. And when the airstrip dies, any of the planes that are landed on it will explode immediately. And the submarine's still being super annoying for Nickname. Okay, so it's a landing on the far right with these commandos. But Nickname is going to be able to destroy this dock and also this town. And now starting to push on this left island now that they notice that WelcomeTo has moved some of these infantry. So the airstrip is destroyed. Nice pickup from WelcomeTo. But the economy will tell us most of what's going on. It's 1648 for blue and 988 for red. And there's just relentless landings from Nickname on this island throughout this game. It's 4 farms already constructed for Nickname. I mean, this is part of where all that economy lead is coming from, and just in general, blue has more territories than red. WelcomeTo is going to destroy this refinery, which is pretty decent, because as mentioned, Nickname's doesn't have like a ton of energy or anything. And what we see here is that Nickname's using these move commands with the commandos, so that in WelcomeTo's vision, this territory never changes color. Nickname doesn't want to cap that, most likely because blue would like to get a bunch of commandos here and then start pushing. And it'll be a huge surprise attack, instead of kind of telegraphing the play by capping the territory, having it change color. And maybe WelcomeTo will realize what's going on. So Nickname builds a town, WelcomeTo builds a dock. Which long-term doesn't really help red when it comes down to eco, but I mean ultimately red has elected that they need more boats. Needs to build more navy. This refinery is very close to the shore, so probably having a navy is good to defend this as well. It's a very difficult spot for WelcomeTo, certainly now that this island's been lost. These folks are in trouble for WelcomeTo. Really digging in is the only option that red has. Love this play with these 2 destroyers for red. And also like this play from WelcomeTo to send 1 boat up to the north to just destroy this town. I don't really think there's any way Nickname could defend it. There's not enough interceptors now to attack this red boat. Because there's only, what, 3 planes now for Nickname that are left? 3 interceptors. Okay, so WelcomeTo is now reclaiming the top right. Getting through this defensive line is going to be borderline impossible with this many infantry, just because it is a choke naturally, and then it's also in the mountains. So the blue infantry have that defensive bonus. And unless I'm wrong, I don't think that 3 interceptors could destroy this destroyer before it destroys the town. What a sentence. But let's see if these 4 destroyers can destroy this destroyer before it destroys the town. I have no idea what WelcomeTo would do to get back in this game. This is just 2 very good players going at it. Nickname's now starting to cap both of these territories. And this is what WelcomeTo's vision would be. Doesn't see the commandos, but can see that these little pie charts are going and turning the territories from red to blue. And now Nickname's going to go for what will end up being probably the killing blow with all of these infantry. It's not important that Nickname is able to push with all these infantry to like the heart of WelcomeTo's base. Probably just enough that Blue is able to take one of the territories and then build like a factory or some sort of producer there. And then slowly just force WelcomeTo to the right hand side of the map. And starve them of eco. Yeah, these red infantry got taken out. So left hand side of the map is Nicknames. Save for this one territory that Blue is about to cap. These 2 red infantry are super surrounded. And Nickname elects to immediately dig in. And this is the strength of having this many missile boats that showed up out of nowhere. They're actually within range that they can attack the airport, which super sucks for WelcomeTo. But even if they weren't, the missile boats could just park out in this little bay, and then anytime a plane tried to land here, it would have to fly over all these missile boats. We're about to see this in action with these 2 interceptors coming back to land. Planes always have to land in the direction that these arrows point on the airport. So they have to loop down to the bottom and then fly around, but they're not able to. It's one of the strongest things you can do with missile boats is just park them close to your enemy's airport. I don't know what happened here. Maybe this destroyer... I wish I should have been looking. Was it destroyed by the destroyers or destroyed by the interceptors? Who knows? It's a mystery. And always will be. 873 income for red and 1872 for blue. I mean, this is an upper bracket tournament game. There's no reason why WelcomeTo should just be giving up easily. So and my point is that WelcomeTo is not. I mean, this has been a very hard fought game. I think there's a few moments in the game where it could have gone either way. And if we see these 2 players in the grand final again, I think it'll be a very good grand final. Like I said, this is game 3 between these 2 in the upper bracket. And if you would like to watch game 1 and 2, you can go to the Line War Discord and check out the tournament replays Discord channel. And all the replays from the tournament are posted there. You can load them up in Line War and watch them yourselves. Study them. GG, well played. There's just so much going on in that game. I'm sure I missed a bunch of stuff, but yeah, what a pace these 2 players were playing at. Income wise, like most Line War games, it was close until it wasn't. Units lost pretty close. Great game. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the cast. Like I said, check out the Line War Discord if you'd like to learn more about the game, watch some of these tournament replays, ask questions. I think it's time enough that we can start saying very hype for AI. Not sure when it's going to be in like a beta version or when it's going to be released in general. But it sounds like we're getting close. Very exciting. There's 4 more games, 4 more matches in the tournament. So there's this one. WelcomeTo now goes down into the lower bracket final. The lower bracket semifinal has yet to be played, but the winner of that will play WelcomeTo, and then the winner of the WelcomeTo versus the lower bracket semifinal winner will play Nickname in the grand final of the tournament. Nickname, with this win, made it to the grand final. So congrats to Nickname. Good luck to WelcomeTo in the rest of the matches. And yeah, well played both. But I hope you have a wonderful night, day, evening. See you around. Peace.